Hello everyone, this is Professor DK and welcome back to another episode. Today we are going to see how you can control this smart device, and we will be developing our own custom app which will enable you to control this bulb, and we can do all sorts of things with this bulb to enable brightness or to switch it on and off. And this could be any smart device. It need not be just a bulb, but we will be using the bulb as an example, and I'll show you how you can develop your own smart device and your own custom app, and you can use this as your final year project, or you can also, if you are a device manufacturer, you can use this solution to deploy your solutions to your customers and generate money. Right? So first of all, what is the Tuya IoT platform, right? So before I go into what Tuya IoT platform is, let me tell you how the device manufacturing or deployment actually works, right? So if you are someone who has to develop a smart device, these are the things that you need to consider. The first thing is the product development, right? So you need to think about the networking module. It could be Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or Zigbee, or any protocol for that matter. And you need to think about the application. It could be smart lighting, it could be smart agriculture, it could be anything, right? It could be a smart socket as well. So you'll need to think about the networking module first thing, and second thing is the application, and then connect the two. So here you can see there is some PCB designing involved, there's some hardware connections that you need to make. So all that will come under this category. Now, the second thing that you need to consider is the code development, right? So you need to write firmware on the device that will, based on the actions which will either come from the cloud or from the app, the device itself will need to take certain actions. And for that, you'll need to write your own firmware, right? And secondly, in the firmware, you'll need to think about how you can do over the air updates whenever there's a new bug or whenever you want to push in updates. So how can you do that as well, right? So that is the second aspect of it, which is the code development. Now, coming to the third aspect, it is the app development. You obviously need the users to use an Android or an iOS app to control your devices. And fourth, you will need a cloud solution so that you can take care of onboarding the devices, access management to see the number of, have login or any kind of authentication so that the users can log in and off of the app. And third, you will need the cloud platform for any data analytics, right? You want to see if the users are actually enjoying the app, or to get any useful insights from the app on the device usage, things like that, so that you can improve on the user experience and also from the device side of it. So that's the fourth. So cloud development. And finally, you can imagine if you have to do all of this, you will need to think about the development and testing, so that once everything is done, you can finally deploy it to your users, right? Now, this is a whole lot of things, right? So you must be thinking, Dheeraj, why are you saying me all of this, right? I'm definitely not going to do all that, right? Well, yeah, even I'm not going to do all of that. It's a tedious process, and if you have to do all of this, it's going to take months together, and yeah, it's not what I want to do right now, right? So that's where Tuya IoT actually comes in, and Tuya IoT platform is a one-stop solution for all of the things that I mentioned. And let's actually dive into their website to see what Tuya actually means and what are the capabilities and how you can leverage that to create your own smart device. So here I have the tuya.com website. You can either type tuya.com in your browser, or you can go to Google and then type in Tuya, and you'll be able to come here. So here you can see that on their platform that they have collaborated with over 5,000 well-known brands here that you can see. And like I mentioned, they support you in all the aspects of the product development cycle. So product development, app development, cloud development, data analytics, whatever you wish, it's probably on here. And you can see that it's a one-stop solution. So you have all of this integrated, allowing you to jumpstart on your IoT journey, right? Now in product development, you can see that I mentioned there is the option of no code development, where you absolutely don't write any code. The firmware is automatically generated for you, and I will come to this in a bit on how you can do this, but just understand that you don't really need to write any code, and the firmware is auto generated for you. You can directly deploy your device, And when it comes to low code development, this is an option where it lets you uh, do some amount of coding which allows you to customize the networking module, and most of it is then controlled by the Tuya platform, where the firmware is already given to you for customization, right? And when it comes to app development as well, they have their own app SDK which you can leverage to develop the mobile app and then use it to control your device. They have their own cloud development platform and also some services for the data analytics. Okay, so you can see that all of this is in one place here, and they have product solutions in absolutely each of the different areas in electrical, lighting, sensor. Any of the appliances that you see in your house is already on here, and today they have over 100 million devices that have been deployed worldwide, and they handle over a billion data requests each day, right? So you can only imagine the scale at which the Tuya platform is growing and is being adopted by the different manufacturers out there. Okay, and also when it comes to AI solutions, they also have integrations with all the global voice assistants like Amazon Echo, Google Assistants as well, right? And yeah, I mean, forget all this. You are probably now interested in understanding, okay, this is all good, but how do I get started on this, right? So I have attached 3 links in the description below. So you can see that there is one link for the Click and Connect campaign, one link to the IoT Tuya platform, and then the final link is for their solutions that they offer, right? So click on the first link to the Click and Connect platform, and you will be redirected to this. So Click and Connect campaign is currently being run by Tuya, where they have 4 different challenges to choose from, and you can complete any of these challenges and have a chance to win a free Adapprox fingerbot. And for those of you who do not know what the fingerbot is, you can see that Adapprox is a vendor which offers the fingerbot, and like the name suggests, it is like a finger which acts like which is basically a finger which allows you to remotely turn on or off any of the buttons or switches, right? Just connect this to your switch, and once you send a command to switch it off, it's going to go up and down and it acts like a finger. Okay, so that's what the fingerbot is. It's a very cool device that you can get a chance to win, and also if you complete the GitHub workout, you can win a chance to get a $35 Amazon gift card. Okay, and the second link that I have given is to the Tuya IoT platform itself. Just click on that and you will be directed to their platform, or you can click on go to Tuya IoT platform from tuya.com as well, and this is where you will land. Okay, so on the overview side, you can see that on the left hand side there's a panel, and it has all the different options of the development cycle like I mentioned. And first is the overview, where any activity that you have done currently up till this point, it's all here. And let's actually start with creating our own device. All right, so since I'm going for a lighting device as an example today, I'm going to choose lighting here under categories, go to general lighting, click on light source, and then I want it to be controlled via Wi-Fi. I'm going to choose the tag here under protocol as Wi-Fi, and I'm going to go for a multicolor RGB Wi-Fi bulb. So I'm going to click on this, and you can give it any name that you want. So I'm going to call it as Professor DK Smart Bulb, and you can give it any product model. So I'm just going to give it as 1.0.0, and I'm going to click on create. Okay, so once the device is created, it's going to ask you to add the standard functions. You can see here that some of the functions are already added. These are a compulsion, because obviously you need to switch the bulb on and off, and also control its colors, scenes, the modes like work mode, casual mode, or reading mode. Things like that are already provided. And additionally, you can choose to add music functionality or any other thing if required, but all these options seem good for me, the defaults, and I'm going to click on OK. Right. So once you click OK, you can see all the standard functions being shown here along with their data types and their properties. All right. And here at the bottom, you can choose the different advanced cloud functions. Since this is advanced, I'm not going to cover this, but yeah, you can go ahead with the defaults and then click on the device panel here at the bottom, and this will take you to the next step. And here you can choose from the different templates for controlling your app. I mean, right now you can choose any, but I'll be showing you how you can develop your own app, so this will not necessarily be needed. But yeah, you can choose anything for now. Just click on apply, and then you can scan this barcode, and this will install the Tuya Smart app on your phone, and that will let you interact with your device after it is deployed, right? So this is where you can download the app, and once you install the app, this is how the layout for your app will be. So here you can see that Tuya offers you their entire app solution as well, right? So you don't really need to develop the app. You get the entire solution, and you can just make use of their default solution. Okay. Now the next aspect is the hardware debugging. So click on next here at the bottom, and here you get to choose from the different modules that are available, and since you chose Wi-Fi as a protocol, you are being shown the different Wi-Fi modules that they offer, and you can just click on the details here, and here on the right hand side panel you'll get details on what this module is, the frequency at which it operates, the memory size. It has 256 KB RAM and 2 MB of flash, etc. And the pin mapping that's required. Right? Obviously, if you are developing your own device, you can buy their module, and then they have mentioned the different pinouts for that, and you'll need to connect your bulb or your smart socket, whatever you intend to develop, to these particular pins, and that's how you will go ahead with this. Okay, so you have a couple more information that you could use, but yeah, this is all you need to know. With the pin mapping is all that you need to know on how it gets connected to your final bulb or socket, whatever it is, and you'll need to know which pin to connect it to. Okay, so next, let's actually choose one module right now. Okay, I'm going to choose the first module here. Okay, so under hardware debugging, you can generate the firmware based on the different settings that you provide here. Okay, so what Tuya basically does is it allows you to configure the functionality on the different pins of the networking module, and based on the configurations you input here, it allows you to generate the firmware at the bottom. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm now changing some settings here. So the first thing is the control configure, and you will get info on what this actually means. So you can check that out once you hover over it, and you can see that this is for actually switching the app light off and on, right? So here on the side you can see the picture of it. So we want to connect the GPIO pin 19 to the bulb's enable or 5 volts, something like that, so that we can control the switching of the bulb, and we have set it to GPIO 19, and since we don't really need to use the I2C protocol, I'm just going to leave it to none. And number of on off to reset basically means that if you switch the bulb on off 3 times, it then enters into the pairing mode. Okay, so that way it is discoverable and you can see it in the app. So I've set that to 3. And finally, under color, you need to set the RGB pins. So it is 5, 15, and 14. And the initial modes are set to high level active. So you need to connect 14, 15, and 5, this pin, to the RGB LED inside the bulb, so that you can control the colors based on the intensity and also which pin is on at a particular time. Okay, so for those of you who do not understand what I'm saying, basically in the bulb you have an RGB LED where based on and you need to connect these pins to the networking module here based on the configurations, and once you provide voltage to each of these pins, you get the different colors, and with the combination of RGB you can create those different colors, and also by controlling the intensity or the voltage on each of these pins, you get how bright it is or how dim the light can be. Okay, so that's what it is. And here, yeah, you can set the different configurations for the bulb on how the white balance should be. So if you need to get the right kind of white balance, you need to set appropriately the R, G, and B values, the gamma values, and finally for controlling the brightness, you can set the PWM values as well, and then finally click on generate firmware. Okay, So as you can see here, the firmware is generated as easy as that by just setting certain options. And once you actually purchase the module, you will be able to get the firmware. And do not worry if you want to change it later on. You can do that as well, right? So you need to click on confirm and then buy the module. And along with the module, you will be given the firmware that you just configured, and you can just flash it onto your device. And that's how now you have a smart device which only requires you to do the connections between the networking module, the Wi-Fi module, and the RGB LED, and then finally do some kind of a bulb. Just you need to do that packaging so that it looks like a bulb, and there you have it. You have a smart device, right? And how easy was this process? You just had three different steps to go through, and you have a fully functional module with just some connections and some packaging to do, right? So the next aspect of it is the product configuration. So you can click on different options to either for the firmware update, so that you can push new updates to the firmware that you just did, or notifications as well. And there are a couple of other things that you could add. And finally, the last step is the testing itself, and they provide the Tuya cloud testing app, where you can interact with the device and make sure that everything's working fine. And once everything's good, you can then release the product. So as you can see, with this 5-step process, any manufacturer or you as an individual can deploy your smart device on the field. And it was as simple as this. And you can then go over to the next product cycle, which is to develop the app and also to register your project on the cloud, so that you can do any analytics or probably the access management and stuff from the cloud. All right. So before we actually go into the app development, let's go to the cloud here, and let me create a new project. So I'm going to call this as Smart Light Control. Okay. And I can give some description for this project. I'm just going to call it as Smart Light. And since this is smart home industry, set that to that, and then choose smart home as the development method. And under availability zone, you need to choose the country that's nearest to you from the list of options here. I'm going to click on India, since that's where I'm based out of, and I'm going to click on create. Okay. And once it's created in the configuration wizard, you can select the different API products that you would need in your cloud option. So here I just uh, will go with the defaults, but yeah, in case you want OTA support, and if you want anything else, you can just click on this, and it's going to allow you to add it into your list of things that are supported. Okay. So then click on authorize. Just going to go with the defaults. And once it's authorized, you can see that it's created here. And if you click on that, it will take you into the project. It has its own access ID and a secret key that you can use to interact with the project. And on the top, you see a couple of tabs to link devices. And if you actually want to see the device that is linked, you'll need to first add the app. And we'll do that in a bit. So I just wanted to show you the different options here, and we'll come back to this once you have added the app. Okay. So let's actually go ahead and create our app. So go over to the apps tab here, and go over to SDK development under app SDK. Click on that, and then we'll create our new app. Okay. Once you click on create app here at the right hand side, it will pop up this window where you can select the SDK. I'm going to go ahead with the smart home SDK and going to click on OK. And I need to provide an app name, and I'm going to call this as my smart light. And I need to provide a bundle ID or the package name in Android. So I'm just going to call this as com.example.smartlightdemo. Okay. Or you can probably change this to anything that you want, but I'm just going to call this as Smart Light Demo. Copy that and add it for the Android package name as well. And I'm going to leave the channel ID as blank and click on agree, and then click on OK. Okay, so since the bundle ID already exists, I'll need to change it. I'm going to call this as my smart light probably, and hopefully this is available. So I'm going to click on OK. Okay, so it's available, so it's all good. And here in the next tab, you will see that it asks you to select the SDKs that you need for the app. Home SDK by default will be needed for any Tuya home application, and apart from that, based on your specific requirement, you can add any extension SDKs. In my case, since it is a lighting SDK, I just need to select these two, and finally go to the Get Key tab here. And here under Get Key, you will see that there's an app key and an app secret key that will be provided to you, and the security image for the Android that you'll need to download. Okay, so download the security image. Okay, so it's a BMP file that will be generated. I'll tell you how this actually gets integrated into Android Studio. Close this, and just remember that there's an app key and an app secret that will be used to authenticate the app when it's communicating with the cloud. All right, so we have done that. Before we actually jump into Android Studio and how you can actually control the device, I just want to tell you one other thing, right? So here, those of you who have come to watch this video, you are either in one of these categories. So either you want to develop your own smart device and then develop the app. So for that, I already showed you how you can develop your product here in the products tab, right? So either you are in that category, or there are other users who are actually want to control the smart device using their app, and this is an existing device that they either bought off of Amazon or Flipkart. Okay, so I am using a Wipro smart bulb, and in your case, you could actually purchase any of the smart bulbs that are supported by Tuya, and it is usually mentioned in the product description if it is Tuya enabled or not. And I am using the Wipro smart bulb in my case to use that and control it using my app. Okay, so in the second category, you don't really need to do anything on the product side. Since you already have the product with you, you can just jump over to developing your app and then controlling your device using the app. Okay, so I'm going to go to app SDK and then SDK development, and I'm going to choose my smart light app that I just created. Okay, I'm going to choose smart light demo and then click on next for the Get Key tab. Okay, so now that we have everything set up, we'll need to go to cloud and add this app as part of that. So okay, so here under link devices, you need to add the app and choose the app that we just created. So it is my smart lights. I'm just going to click on that and I'm going to click on OK. And so this is how you integrate the app with the cloud, and based on the devices that are discovered on this app, you will be able to see that under the device list. Okay, so in the device list, uh, once you have the devices discovered, it will show up here. So we have reached the end of this video. We have successfully set up our cloud and our app, and we have linked the app with the cloud. Now what remains to see is how we can develop the Android app using the Tuya IoT SDK and to control the device. So we'll be doing that in the next video. So this video was powered by Tuya IoT platform, where building the Internet of Things effortlessly is their motto, and that's what we witnessed today. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, and do not forget to comment below on how easy it was for you to configure the things on the cloud as well as on the app, and I'll see you guys in the next video.